Hi, I'm Rob from Moody's Nursery, and this is Ginny. We're here to talk to you today about how you can add color to your garden all summer long. Some interesting ways you can do it with plant material would be to use plants that have colored leaves. This actually had a pink flower on it not too long ago, and then you get to enjoy the colored leaves on it all season long. Coming into flower now are many of the various forms of hydrangea. This is a beautiful red hydrangea. This is a blue hydrangea called Endless Summer, which blooms continuously throughout the summer until frost. If you need a hydrangea on the smaller side, you can go with something like a dwarf hydrangea called Pia. Has a nice red flower and doesn't get very large, so it stays manageable in the garden. We have another newer hydrangea called Tough Stuff Red. It's a proven winner, which means it's been thoroughly tested in the market and field, and has this nice red color to it. So it's a nice addition to any garden. If your garden is a little bit more on the sunny side, there are lots of plants that we can use there as well. For a taller perennial, this is Becky Daisy. Many of you will recognize Becky Daisies. They've been around for a long time. This is a hybrid of Becky. This is Stelladoro daylily. It's a repeat blooming daylily, and there are many new varieties of daylily that repeat bloom. So you get color all summer long with the repeating daylilies. Coming into color now also are many varieties of echinacea or coneflower. With these bright, almost fluorescent colors, you can really add a pop of color to your garden for the summertime. On the smaller side are dianthus and this beautiful pink and darker pink. Provide a nice pop of color. I've actually seen dianthus blooming in January when we had the mild winter a couple of years ago. So it's a very tough plant and does a nice job in the garden. An old favorite would be hollyhocks that bloom about this time of the season. So there's another good choice to add some color to your garden. And don't forget roses. Roses have evolved a lot in recent years, and these are shrub roses which no longer require the intense care that the tea roses used to require, and they repeat bloom throughout the summer, and they do require a little bit of maintenance and would like some food, but they're not as much care as the tea roses are. And let's not forget some of the gorgeous ornamental grasses. This is Carly Rose. It has a beautiful red plume to it. Stays about 2 to 2.5 feet tall by about 2 to 2.5 feet wide. It's a really great way to fill in an open spot in your garden without overwhelming you. So what do you do if you have shade? For shade options, there are lots of options. Like this is a stilby, and it comes in pink, white, red, and various sizes. There are short ones and tall ones. So in the shade garden, you can have a lot of variation with color, height, and texture by using a plant like a stilby. Hostas have been a tradition and a stalwart of shade gardens. So there are lots of options on hostas. Although these may look similar, they're actually very different. One gets larger than the other. So you've got some options with hostas. There are variegated, which have the white margins on the leaves. They're variegated with white in the center of the leaves. There are blue, straight greens. So there are lots of options with hostas. This is a fern many of us recognize. It's ostrich fern, and the fiddleheads from ostrich ferns are what many of us are used to eating. But nowadays, there are lots of new varieties of ferns. that have colorful leaves, so you can add some color to your shade garden and with ferns. Heuchera is a nice purple plant, so without depending on a flower, you can add some color to your garden with a plant like Heuchera. And this is an ornamental grass called golden variegated Hakone grass. It forms a nice clump, stays yellow, and it's got a little bit of a variegation in the leaf. It's a way to add a nice pop of color to your garden without having to depend on a flower. Lots of options to add color to your garden in the summertime.